Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 1318.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, we're going to talk about how this is the first Nasdaq record high in 2 years. Well, with all this talk of AI, artificial intelligence, Nasdaq has been on a tear. And any of the large companies or Magnificent Seven that are associated with AI have been getting a huge value boost in their market capitalization, making Microsoft the largest company in the world because it is an investor in OpenAI and has basically taken that company in under its wing. That means through yesterday, the Nasdaq was up 7.2% year to date, but for the last 12 months was up 40.38%. And when we compare that to the Vanguard Mega Cap Growth ETF, which is the largest 88 companies in the S&P 500, year-to-date, Mega Cap Growth is up 9.55%, beating the Nasdaq. And for the 1 year, it also beats the Nasdaq, up 51.3%. Now, NVIDIA has been going crazy, and that's been adding a lot of value to the Nasdaq. And I reported how after their earnings, the spectacular numbers that they shared made the value of NVIDIA stock rise by $250 billion in 1 day. According to Rick Meckler, partner at Cherry Lane Investments, a family investment office in New Vernon, New Jersey, the anticipation of an artificial intelligence boom has really provided support for these stocks, even at extended valuations. For it to continue, I think you need to move past the idea of artificial intelligence as a revolution and begin to see revenue growth directly attributable to it. Yeah, so what he's saying is we need to be a little bit more down to earth, and instead of anticipating all the great things and great profits that artificial intelligence is going to be able to provide, we want to see the real profits. And we are seeing that in NVIDIA. Part of that is because the chips that NVIDIA makes, they can basically price however high they want, and Facebook bought a whole slew of them to try to control and corner the market of NVIDIA's chips. So when you have a price that you can put on it that's higher and higher, and then a buyer who will pay basically whatever price you put on it, well, you are guaranteeing that your profitability is going to improve. It's interesting that NVIDIA has now replaced Tesla as the most widely traded company. And that's because NVIDIA can call amongst its customers OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT, Microsoft, Alphabet, and Meta, among others. And NVIDIA is really in control of about 80% of the high-end AI chip market, which is why it's getting such a premium and why so many money managers want to own NVIDIA stock. I told you last year I believe that artificial intelligence would be the next bubble, and it's going to take several years for it to actually turn into a bubble. But you can definitely see the beginning effects of that bubble starting now, with basically any company talking about AI getting a premium, and every company wanting to talk about AI so they can get a premium. Remember back in 2022 when we had that terrible bear market? Well, we had the bottom in October, but around December, Nasdaq really started to rally after it was down more than 30% from its November 2021 high. And everyone was worried about inflation and rising interest rates and what the Fed was going to do, and also if a recession was going to eventually ensue, which I said wouldn't and never did show up, and still hasn't appeared. Now, from the bottom point to now, the Nasdaq has rallied pretty impressively. And some of these numbers from December 2022 until now are pretty incredible. Apple is up 43%. The Nasdaq Composite is up 57%. Alphabet's up 61%. Microsoft is up 76%. Tesla is up 79%. Amazon is up 116%. Meta is up 323%. And Nvidia is up 463% from that December 2022 low. From that period of time, we've been talking about the Fed cutting interest rates. And first, it was thought that the Fed would cut earlier in this year. Then it moved to the Fed was going to be cutting later this year. Now the pendulum is swinging back a little bit. And I still say May looks pretty reasonable to me to when the Fed will begin to make their first rate cut. So while everyone is focused on what the Fed's going to do and what's happening with interest rates as they jockey around from lows to highs and have quite a bit of volatility, keeping the real estate market on its toes, in the meantime, Microsoft has gained 10% in valuation to be worth $3 trillion this year, replacing Apple as the world's most valuable company. And Nvidia is now in third place as the third most valuable company with a market capitalization of just under $2 trillion. And it zoomed past Amazon and Alphabet to capture third place. So these large companies are still grabbing most of the performance in the S&P 500 and in the Nasdaq. But if smaller companies start using AI and start talking about the benefits of AI in their company, like I mentioned with Klarna in my last podcast, who told us that AI is doing the work of 700 employees, when you can give tangible results like that and tell people the kind of cost savings you're having by using artificial intelligence, that is what analysts and investors want to hear. And then ultimately they'll look for it to show up in the bottom line. So right now there's a lot more talk than there are numbers, but that's going to change later this year. People will demand to see the numbers. But in anticipation of that, they're willing to give certain companies a premium based on how they are using artificial intelligence and how much benefit they can get out of it. The one company where it's kind of backfiring is Alphabet, who is looked upon as maybe not as big of a benefactor with artificial intelligence because the way they do search is to have multiple choices come up in their search platform. But with AI, that can all change. And AI can recommend certain things and know certain answers and write certain information that you're looking for. It just has a completely different take on it. So whether Google will be able to use it to its advantage and work its way out of this, or whether AI is going to eventually replace Google is the big argument that is being made on Wall Street right now. But nothing's going to happen that soon. Google should do just fine for a few more years until we really know how that battle is going to work out. But just about every other company can make a good case for how AI is going to benefit them by providing more profitability to the bottom line, help them be more efficient, and grow faster. And that is going to be a tremendous boost to the entire stock market eventually, which makes the next several years look extremely bullish. If you haven't yet subscribed to Be Wealthy and Smart, hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified as soon as new podcasts are available. And all of my podcasts are on my website at lindapjones.com/podcasts. And while you're there, sign up for my weekly newsletter for more tips for your financial freedom. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. Share the wealth and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.